Hello, I'm Vidas Pinkevicius, and I'm so excited to be able to welcome you into this program, into this mini course in which I will teach you how to play wonderful Prelude and Fugue by Bach in F major, okay, BWV number 556. And if you follow my directions closely and step-by-step techniques and advice each day, you will be able to play this piece fluently in just 7 days. Just think about this. 7 days from now, a week from today, you will be able to play both the Prelude and the Fugue quite fluently on your own. Okay, that's amazing how these techniques works. It's basically fast learning tricks. Basically, you can apply these tricks to any piece of music, okay, afterwards, and you will be able to do this up to 10 times faster than you are learning today any piece, okay. This is amazing. You will be learning this piece very fast and only working about 30 minutes a day. Well, it depends. Some people have better sight reading skills, then they need a little less. Some people are relative beginners and they need a little more time to adjust, okay, and to internalize the techniques. Then they need to repeat a few more times. But in general, I would say 30 minutes a day. It's sort of a normal time for majority of people. Okay, before we start practicing this wonderful Prelude and Fugue, let me say a few words about how the piece is put together. You see, it's really important for you to understand the structure and the form of this piece before you even begin to practice, because the better you know the structure and the techniques and the melody and rhythm and harmony how Bach uses in this piece, the deeper actually is your knowledge of your piece, and the better you will be able to appreciate. And the more you practice, the more you fall in love with this piece, I would say. So in 7 days you will be falling in love with this piece, I'm pretty sure. Okay? So this wonderful Prelude and Fugue in F major is a part of a collection, very famous collection of 8 Preludes and Fugues, BWV number 553 through 560. It was written and thought that Johann Sebastian Bach composed this piece. Therefore, scientists put a BWV number on each of the Prelude and Fugues. But recently, musicologists believe that these pieces, this wonderful Preludes and Fugues, might have been composed by a student of Bach, Johann Ludwig Krebs. It doesn't matter who composed this piece. It's so beautiful and it's so pedagogically suitable to teach and to learn step-by-step techniques and advance in organ playing. So I'm very happy that you joined this program and you will be continuing learning and practicing this piece 7 days in a row. That's how very exciting time, okay, for all of us, for me to teach you, and I'm sure for you to play and practice. Okay, so let's talk about the structure of the piece a little bit. The Prelude is composed from 3 parts. It's called a ternary form, basically, or ABA form. Letter A appears twice in this Prelude, and therefore it is sort of a form with recapitulation. And this repeated A form, letter A section, it gives the form a rounded feeling, rounded with recapitulation. And what happens is this episode Okay, this episode is an introduction. It establishes the key of F major, the tonic key, and it has a sort of nice introduction of 4 measures without the pedal line. But then a wonderful sequence begins to take place. This one, ascending sequence, like that. It's wonderful because it has a very exciting 16-note triplets, very characteristic for this fragment. And later on you will also see these triplets in section B as well. So section A ends in the key of F major, in the tonic key, with the perfect cadence. Let's hear that cadence. Like that. Then what happens? The composer starts the next section in F major. Like that. But then he moves to another key, to G minor, a step higher than F major. F major was a cadence on the dominant, sort of a question mark. Let's hear it again. Like that. It's a question mark. But then another question mark. It's called a half cadence, meaning that the cadence ends on the dominant chord, not on the tonic. And if you end a fragment on the dominant, it's sort of funny because you have a feeling of tension, of interest rising, and expecting something new. So basically, after this, another phrase comes in with both hands playing triplet 16s. Like that. That was a stop, a cadence in the key of D minor, which is a relative key of tonic, of the tonic of F major. You see both F major and D minor have the same number of accidentals next to the treble or bass clef, 1 flat, and you saw this cadence in D minor. And what happens? You will return to the key of F major now. But the cadence ends on the key of C major, the dominant key of F major, basically. And then the ending of the section B of this middle episode, the largest episode in the Prelude, starts from the C major key, but then modulates through ascending sequence that we saw in the beginning of part A to the key of F major again. That's actually not F major, but A minor. And A minor is a relative key of the dominant. You see, it's interesting. It has the same number of accidentals as C major, as the dominant key. And because C major doesn't have any accidentals, then A minor also doesn't have any accidentals. That's A minor key. And that's C major key, okay? And we finished this wonderful episode episode B in the key of A minor. But let's go back a few measures and see how this cadence is constructed, because once you start in the key of C major, you start modulating to a key of G major, A minor. You reach A minor and then a cadence. That's how this second half of the prelude is constructed. Then Bach or Krebs returns to the recapitulation of part A. And if you master this wonderful beginning, part A or section A, then you don't even need to practice much the ending of the prelude, because it's exact repetition, exact repetition. Let's hear it. Okay, so that's how this prelude is constructed and put together, and I hope you also will refer to the fully fingered and pedaled practice score. Okay, I specifically for you I notated each and every finger you should be playing, each fingering and also pedaling, so you don't need to worry about adding your own fingers and pedals. That's very exciting, okay, because it's a struggle to write in fingering, and many people ask me how to do this, how to properly indicate fingering and pedaling. Pedaling might be okay in this music, quite understandable, but fingering is quite difficult to play, to write in correctly. And besides, it's a slow process, so you don't need to worry about fingering or pedaling. I took care of it for you. Okay, you just follow the score, print it out and follow the score, put it on your instrument and start practicing. Okay, so that's the structure of the prelude. Let's take a look at the general form of the fugue. The fugue, you see, is a wonderful imitative piece, Baroque composition, which also has some interesting melodic and rhythmic and harmonic devices, as we will see later on. But the structure of this is pretty straightforward. Usually the fugue starts with a theme, which usually is presented in one voice, but sometimes the fugue might be presented in two voices, of course, as a double fugue. Okay, but this is a simple fugue, starts with a theme or a subject in the voice of the tenor, in the tenor voice. Okay. Like that. If you feel intimidated by these wonderful 16th notes in the second measure, don't be. They are quite simple to play. Although it looks quite complicated and fast tempo, but I promise you, after 7 days you will find it quite doable and easy. Okay. Well, then the second thematic entrance it's called an answer. Okay, a subject and answer. Subject is in the tonic key, and answer is in the dominant key. And this time the answer, the second appearance of that theme, is in the alto, in the key of the dominant. What happens then? Composer returns to the key of F major with the theme in soprano. Okay, that's the third entrance. Okay, then what happens is the answer in the pedals. Okay, a little bit modified at the end, but still it is an answer. Okay, this is the fourth theme in a row, okay? Then a theme in the tenor again, okay? And the theme again in soprano. Okay, and sometimes the theme is presented in full, sometimes it's a short, just a fragment, okay, with imitation in other voices. But then the next appearance of the theme is in the third line of this last page, okay, in the pedal part, in the tonic key. Like that, okay? And then a few more, a couple more actually. Again in pedal, the answer. Okay, like that. Not a full theme, but just a reminiscence of the theme, basically, the fragment. And the last appearance of the thematic material is in the voice of soprano. That's how it ends, okay? Let's listen to the fugue one more time, and I will play all four voices together now for you. Sounds a little bit perhaps slower than many people play, but I wanted you to understand the structure of the piece. And in many cases we don't need to take a very fast tempo at all, because if we rush and play very fast, we miss some very important details. Okay? So that's the introduction, basically. Welcome to this mini course, welcome to this program in which you will learn to play F major, Prelude and Fugue by Krebs or Bach in just 7 days, okay? And now, please refer to the score, please download and print it out and put it in front of your instrument, practice organ, and I'll see you in the next video, in which I will be teaching you the first wonderful section, section A, the first episode that you will be practicing today.